Hi YouTubers, my name is Kevin and you're watching The Royal We. In this message I want to talk with you about the reality of toxic abusive narcissists who require a scapegoat in their life. Now this isn't the case for everybody. Some people deal with toxic abusive narcissists who jump from relationship to relationship as though they're running in some paranoid state, looking over their shoulder as though people are chasing them. But some of you have dealt with toxic abusive narcissists who, even though they talk so much horrible things about you, they share all kinds of nasty things and they gossip about you and they criticize you and ridicule you and call you names and they blame you for everything. They blame you for ruining their lives. They blame you for all this and that and the next, right? Yet they won't leave you alone. They make it a focus of theirs to get little jabs in on you, to visit you on your social media page, to send you text messages, yet they hate you so much because you're such a judgmental, selfish, toxic individual yourself, by the way. And you're left wondering, why in the world is this person talking to me if I am such a horrible monster? Why will they not leave me alone? Why don't they just move on? Why don't they just be honest and tell me they don't like me and just go? That would be a whole lot easier to deal with than the annoyance of this toxic, narcissistically abusive person who wants to proclaim to the world that they can't stand you, that you are the worst thing ever and you ruin their life. They want to proclaim that from the mountaintops, yet they don't want to let you get too far away from their reach on social media or wherever. Why is this? What's going on? You see, toxic abusive narcissists need what is called a scapegoat. A scapegoat is required in order for narcissists to feel empowered in life and validated and justified. And this is something that you and I need to understand, so you and I do not need this in our life in order to feel empowered, in order to feel validated, and in order to feel justified. And by the end of this message, I want to help you to understand the difference between toxic abusive narcissists and you and me and how we live our lives. You see, an abusive narcissist does require a scapegoat, something or someone or a group or an idea or an entity to blame. As long as they are blaming someone or something outside of themselves for everything that's wrong in their life, that means that they don't have to look inside themselves to make any changes. And God knows they do not want to look inside themselves because they will see darkness, an extended history of mistake after mistake after mistake, of horrible decision, of hurting people, of doing bad things, and they don't want to face all that. It rears its head inside of them like a monster, and they believe that it's going to devour them. So what they do, instead of putting that work in to tackle that monster within themselves so they can get to their true selves, it's easier for them to hide it. In other words, just keep their back turned to that while focusing all of that punishment outward to something or someone. You're the reason I'm upset. You're the reason I have darkness. You're the reason. It's your fault. And now watch this. If they were to let you go that easy and just say, you know what, I don't like you. I think it's over. We need to move on. And you can move on and find your happy life. If they were to do that, guess what? They would have no one to blame then. And they would be forced to turn around and take on their own anger and their own narcissism and that monster inside of themselves. And they're not ready to do that, nor do they want to. They have no desire to do that. They've spent years, decades, their entire life running and hiding from that very thing inside of themselves that has stacked up. They've never given themselves permission to tackle their own understanding of the wickedness within themselves. They don't have that. So they require you. They require somebody to be a bad person that they can shake their finger at so they can say, it's you, it's your fault. And if that goes, that would be horrible for them. It'd be a horrible day. They'd be left isolated and alone to face themselves once and for all. I want you to imagine with me, if you will, a narcissist who needs scapegoats, who's out there telling people how horrible they are and how much better the narcissist is. I'm better than you, and how dumb and stupid. And they're calling people names. Now I want you to imagine if everybody started turning their back on the narcissist. The narcissist would frantically start calling people more names. You're this and you're that. Turn your back on me. And they just get more and more aggressive. Why? because they know that they're having to go more and more inward because nobody is taking the blame. Nobody's taking their punishment. They're going to have to deal with themselves. The scariest thing for a narcissist, right? So this is why a narcissist won't let you go in most cases. This is why they abuse you and are cruel to you, but yet want to hang on to you like with talons as you try to get away. No, don't go away. I need to hate you. I need to not like you because I need someone beneath me. I need someone to take the punishment for everything that I've done wrong. That's it. Now, the reality is the difference between that and you and me. Many of you have been abused and have been isolated as a result of this type of gaslighting and manipulation and the scapegoating of toxic narcissists. You've been broken down and have had no one to turn to. And more than that, you do not have it in you. You do not have the personality or the character to attack other people and to call them names and ridicule them to make you feel better, right? Hopefully, if you're watching this video, that's not who you are because you're not a narcissist. So watch what happens though. You have had to go inside yourself during this healing process and you've had to work out all of these issues, the horrible things that were said to you. You've even had to work out your part in it. And that's the most difficult part of healing from narcissistic abuse, is working out your reasons for being in the relationship, for making the decisions to stay. These are issues you're going to discover. Many of them are just based on false narratives. I stayed because I thought I had to. I stayed because I thought that was the good thing to do. And so you have to wrestle and grapple with these things. But guess what? You're going to come to this place where you realize no one is to blame for your involvement in narcissistic abuse. Therefore, you do not require a scapegoat. Listen, there was a time when I blamed narcissism for my anger and my frustration and my hurt. Back when I was in California and I was experiencing the toxic narcissistic abuse and I didn't want to have anything to do with those people. I didn't want to be around them and I blamed them. I said, because of the way they are, I don't want to be around them. And I realize now, as I look back to who I was then, it's about 5 years ago, I was giving them power. And and I made the decision to move from California, in my own personal experience, 5 states away to St. Louis, Missouri, right? To start a brand new life. And I've been healing over time and I've realized something. That I would never at this point ever put any blame for anything on my life, including the move, never the move, on narcissism. I would never give them that credit. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you turn things around now and you take responsibility and you have more power than narcissists. Because the reality is, we need to be able to get to this place where we make solid decisions that are the best for our life. And if we do that, we don't need scapegoats. You see, as I look at the move I made from California to St. Louis, Missouri, this is what I am able to say about it. I'm able to say I made a move based on what I want my life to look like with my family and the life we would like to live. And I left California behind because I saw what I don't want my family to be like. Do you see the empowerment and the difference in how that sounds as opposed to I left to get away from toxic abusive people? You see, even that is scapegoating. And what I'm saying is I'm creating a reason for me to stay away. I'm not doing that anymore. The royal we is not about that. The royal we is all about saying, listen, we are now smarter and wiser and we are making decisions for our lives. The decision to move to St. Louis was the best decision economically and to have the lifestyle that I want. And I'm thankful. I am thankful for the experiences, even with the toxic abuse that I experienced in California. I'm thankful for that because it opened my eyes to the changes that I need to make. And one of those changes was to get the heck out of there. This is where we need to be. Ultimately, to be a person that is empathetic and compassionate, to be a person who is strong, to be a person who is going to just go after your calling and your purpose, you need to have this where you're not scapegoating. You don't require a scapegoat. You want to be empowered. You want to be the one saying, I'm making this decision because. Not because of you, I'm making this decision. It's I'm making this decision because I don't want to live that way. And this needs to be your reason for leaving toxic abusive relationships. It's using wisdom in your decision making. It's using discernment in your decision making. And if you use these things, you will not need a scapegoat. Now, on the other hand, the narcissists, they're not able to make these decisions. Listen, let's be honest, nothing they do seems to be out of wisdom or discernment or understanding. Leaving and jumping from relationship to relationship, what wisdom is in that? I mean, from afar, it can look like they're living this amazing, lavish, fun lifestyle. But really, where you're required to find whatever makes you happy at any given moment, is that really a lifestyle that you want to admire and you want to live in? Let's be honest. Let's be real here for a minute. No. You want a lifestyle that's empowered, where you're making decisions that's best for you and for your family. That's it. And you don't want to blame narcissists. You don't want to create scapegoats. Let the narcissist require scapegoats. Because here's why. If you require scapegoats, you'll always be stuck. Narcissists will always be stuck because they always require a scapegoat. Scapegoats will turn their backs eventually and leave. And then what? Well, then the narcissist has to find another scapegoat, someone else to carry the burden of all their hurt and pain. I say if you come across a narcissist or a toxic individual or a family member or anybody who tries to scapegoat other people, places, and things and blame everybody else for what's going on in their life, leave them be. You could try to help. You could try to offer suggestions. You can maybe softly try to steer them in another direction and get them to understand how empowered they could be if they would, you know what I mean, to work on that inner self. But if they don't want to, take it as a red flag, because you do not want to end up being the scapegoat. It's just a headache, right? And narcissists require a scapegoat. It's the only way they feel empowered in this life. You and me, we're not going to require scapegoats, are we? Say no. No. Everybody say, no, Kevin, we do not require scapegoats. We will not blame anybody for the decisions that we make in our life moving forward. From now on, repeat after me, from now on, every decision that we make will be from our own wisdom, our discernment, our knowledge, and our understanding. And we will require no scapegoating whatsoever. We won't need to create scapegoats because we will take responsibility for everything that we do, the decisions that we make. We will allow narcissists and toxic individuals to be the ones who are yelling and screaming at how everybody else around them is to blame, not them. And we will watch the dividing line. You'll watch it divide even more. Listen, I want to be a part of your healing journey, coming out of toxic narcissistic abuse and into your true empowered self. Visit www.jointheroyalwe.com, where you can schedule a one-on-one appointment with me. We can have a FaceTime appointment. We can have a telephone appointment. We can even have a text message appointment. Again, it's www.jointheroyalwe.com. Also, down below in the description box, you'll see links to all kinds of good stuff. Every Monday night is Royal We Live Chat. This is the community coming together. We ask questions, answer questions, and take phone calls for free, as long as you know that it's live. Also, every Saturday morning is the all-new Royal We Fellowship channel, and this is an in-depth biblical study of the ancient literature of the Bible. However, we are applying it to this understanding and to the world of toxic narcissism. It's unlike any other Bible study you've been a part of, and I would really hope to see each and every one of you there every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Right down below in the description box is the link for everything you need. So go down there, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. And I'll be back with more videos right here on The Royal We.